guys, welcome back to A3's video series, Safe and Secure. My name is Alexis.
And I'm Kevin.
What's going on, Kevin?
Nada. Another day in paradise working for A3. You know how that is.
Oh, yeah. We love it. We love it. Always working, always moving forward.
Yep. Miss seeing you guys in person, though, that's for sure.
I know. It's so crazy. You know, it would just happen so abrupt us leaving, and then they're like, oh, we'll be only gone for like a week or two, a month maybe. And we're going on what? How many months now? Like,
oh, yeah. Soon enough we'll be together, I'm sure.
Soon and very soon, safely.
Yes.
So I know you spoke to Dr. Reeves, a professor at Winthrop University, recently about the mental health side of the aftermath of these school shootings and, you know, the procedures that districts and schools need to take as far as the health of these students and these teachers who have seen such trauma in schools, which I thought was super interesting. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so Dr. Reeves is a fantastic person. She's been in a school psychologist, school counseling role for many years. She was able to participate in the after Columbine response to mental health. She's a former president of the National Association of School Psychologists and author of their Prepare program. And she is just a wealth of knowledge. She's able to cover everything from threat assessments all the way through to mental health recovery post-incident, whether that's a school shooting, the suicide of a parent, the death of a teacher, a tragic loss of a student. She's, again, a wealth of knowledge in that area.
That is awesome. You know, we see a lot of the news of these shootings and stuff, but we don't see the news of how it affects the teachers, the students, and, you know, the suicide thing as well. Like, we see all of that in the news, but we don't see the aftermath. So I'm excited to see this one. So without further ado, we have Safe and Secure with Dr. Reeves.
Dr. Reeves, how are you doing today?
Doing well. How are you?
Doing good. Thanks for joining us today. Dr. Reeves, for those that are listening or watching, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into K-12 school psychology?
Yeah, I am currently an associate professor at Winthrop University, which is in Rock Hill, South Carolina. And I just started that position a couple of years ago after spending almost 20 years working in K-12 education. Started off as a special education teacher with an emphasis in working with those with behavioral and emotional disabilities. And then went on and got my master's degree in counseling psychology. So I'm a licensed clinical mental health counselor, and then my doctorate in school psychology. So I spent many years as a school psychologist and also a district coordinator of social, emotional, and behavioral services. Spent most of my career working in K-12 schools, but I've also done some work in a pre-K through 12th grade private school, and then also day treatment and residential treatment centers. In regards to how I got into the school safety world, is I was a very first year school psychologist just out of my doctorate program. And I worked for the Cherry Creek School District in the Denver, Colorado area. And Columbine happened. And myself and a couple colleagues were actually received a call saying, can you help? And so we were assigned to one of the local emergency room waiting areas to provide, you know, crisis interventions and supports for students that obviously clearly were traumatized. And then also provided some follow-up services in the days after. And that was really the experience that put me on the trajectory of being involved in developing an expertise in the school safety arena. As you can imagine, we were completely overwhelmed and underprepared for anything that we faced, and realized we need to do better.
Absolutely. And, you know, it's still amazing to me that Columbine happened in '99. There's a ton of lessons learned from that horrific incident. And yet we continue to have incident after incident, and you can look at the after actions of multiples after '99 and look and say, these are the same or similar lessons from '99. Why have we not corrected those kind of things? But I know you're always on the forefront of that change and setting policies and procedures and trainings and best practices. I was trying to sit here and rack my mind and think about it. I'm not sure how many years it's been now that you and I've known each other. I first came across you, I believe, back when I was in Charleston with our student that emulsified himself, which was horrific. And if it would not have been for your trainings that some of our key people in the district had just attended, that could have been a completely different story. So.
Well, thank you. Yeah, and as a result of my experiences with Columbine and other school shootings that actually took place in the 1990s, that is when the National Association of School Psychologists put together a group of us to write a curriculum, which is now called the Prepare School Crisis Prevention and Intervention Curriculum. And we just now released the 3rd edition last
this
summer.
One?
That's it. Yes, that is it.
I think that's a way older version, but yes.
And that really was a result of our experiences, but also realizing that we were trying to use community models or medical models of crisis response. It just didn't work well in schools because we work with all different age groups. We work with those that have a variety of different disabilities. So what the Prepare School Crisis Prevention and Intervention Curriculum does is that there's 2 workshops we call them separate yet complementary. Workshop 1 is really focused on the prevention and the planning aspect. So it is a full 1-day workshop for any educators and professionals, including safety and security, directors of school safety, school resource officers, school mental health, administrators, basically anyone that's going to serve on your safety or crisis team. And we spend a full day teaching prevention aspects and how all of those prevention programs that we're doing to build school climate and school safety really set the foundation of a positive and safe school climate. But then we also spend the bulk of the day focusing on how to develop a really good emergency operations plan that has all of those annexes in there that are recommended by the U.S. Department of Ed. So you walk away from that training with a series of handouts and documents that help schools put together or refine the plan that they already have in place. Plus, it's incredibly interactive, and we get school teams thinking about what do we currently have that's working, what do we need to refine, where are those gaps that we need to fill in. Then we have workshop 2, which is focused on the intervention and the recovery. And this is primarily for school mental health professionals, school psychologists, school counselors, school social workers, school nurses. But we also recommend, if you have any community mental health professionals that you collaborate with in larger scale events to help your schools provide support services, invite them to the trainings. And even though it's more mental health focused, we've actually had administrators, school resource officers, directors of safety and security, and they really like it because we talk about what is trauma. We teach you how to do psychological triage. How do we determine who has been more traumatized than someone else? And then we use a multi-tiered framework to provide crisis interventions and supports. Because some individual social supports are going to be enough. For those individuals that are more traumatized, are going to need more direct, either individual or group interventions. So we teach you how to deliver multi-tiered interventions based upon demonstrated need. And every intervention we teach has a specific protocol to follow. So if I'm assigned to do a class meeting with the 3rd grade classes, I know exactly the steps that I need to follow. So for me, for someone who was quite honestly thrown into Columbine and thrown into some other crisis situations, what I love about workshop 2 is that it's structured and it provides a good structured framework. We are moving away from open up the big room and teachers just send kids down. We know that doesn't work for a variety of reasons. Number 1, you have kids that just want to get out of the math class if they don't want to be in. But number 2, you end up with kids down there that don't necessarily need the supports. But they're there for other reasons, and then it takes your time and energy away from those that really do need it. Plus, we also know there's contagion. You put a bunch of kids in the room, and once one kid starts showing a certain emotion, next thing you know, it ripples throughout the room. And then sometimes that can lead to unmanageable situations. So the Prepare Workshop 2, it's a 2 full days, but it is skill building. You are going to walk away knowing how to deliver multi-tiered crisis interventions and supports.
It's an amazing program because I witnessed it firsthand, right? In action, people scrambling around, not knowing what to do. And somebody said, well, time out. We literally just attended this training. Go get the book and kind of follow the processes, which is why I became involved. So as a security emergency management director in K-12 for 20 years, I'll tell you where this fits for me. It's all about destroying silos. K-12 is highly known for guidance is here, psych is here, security is here, police department is here, instruction, student services. We have all these silos. Prepare for me was able to say, hey, let's all come together as a team and let's learn off of each other because we all have similar skill sets. And that was a way for me to bond with psych and guidance and other nursing services and other entities inside of the school district, and really bonded us as a team through that training for that common goal. So that's one of the huge reasons I love the program. And if you're a new security director at a new school district that does not have Prepare, this is definitely your way to start building bridges. If you're a new school security director at a district that already has Prepare, now's your time to inject yourself into it as a component of that team. So those are some of the many reasons I enjoy the program. But
yeah, and if you go to the National Association of School Psychologists website, so it's www.nasponline.org. And then click under professional development. There's a whole website on what the Prepare curriculum is, if people are interested for more information.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for spending your valuable time today with A3 and me. Huge shout out to Dr. Reeves for helping us put this session together. If you need any information on the Prepare program or National Association of School Psychologists, please reach out to A3, myself, or Dr. Reeves' contact information will be at the end of this video as well. Thank you very much.